Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here from CarterMatt.com.
And Jessica Carter, also from CarterMatt.com.
And this is your NCIS Season 16, Episode 23 review. We are talking about lost time and tick, tick, tick. What is that? Oh, it's me losing time at the start of this video before we talk about everything that is important. Gibbs having a meltdown. Can Dr. Confalone help him? Did anyone actually drink that beer? What was going on with Gibbs's haircut in this episode? So many questions. Okay.
Yeah, that was a question for me.
All right, we're gonna start with that. But before we do, if you like this video, give us a like and subscribe to CarterMatt on YouTube for more.
Down below.
Yeah, that way you don't miss any of these updates. Okay, so is the biggest mystery of this episode not what happened with that brooch, but what happened with Gibbs's hair?
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening there. He was on the scene of the crime. He had the longer hair in the back. For a moment, I was like thinking, are the episodes just kind of shot out of order? Whatever. And later on, he's at the bar and he's got his military haircut back. Continuity? Anybody?
I don't know. Well, maybe in the midst of his personal crisis,
he got a haircut.
Gibbs went to the barber. Why isn't Gibbs' barber a good person for him to talk to? Like, isn't this what you're supposed to do at the barber shop? Like, tell them all your secrets and stuff?
I'm pretty sure he had this military haircut last week, too.
Oh,
so,
well.
you know, we're... maybe.
I'm
petting the dog here just in case people are like, what is happening over here? This is what's happening over here.
Yeah, okay. Coco Vanderwolf is clearly having herself a good day. Gibbs is not having himself a good day. I think we can. That's very, very clear based on this episode.
No, what a great performance. Wow, this has been a really good season for Mark Harmon. Really good material. He has been going down a hole, and it all came to a head tonight.
Let's pose this question, because this show is very procedural. It's kind of the same thing every time.
Yep.
Gibbs shows up, interrupts some awkward conversation. They go and solve the case. There's an interrogation scene. We know all of this.
Good TV comfort food.
Yeah. Is Mark Harmon delivering a sneaky underrated performance this season where he's actually one of the better leading men and he's not going to get any recognition for it because...
I don't even think it's sneaky. I think he is delivering an amazing performance this season. But to be fair, he's been given, this is a more serialized season. He's been given a lot of really good material, like just layers on layers of crappy stuff that's happening to him, stuff from his past that he hasn't fully dealt with. It's all out in the open, everything. Things are changing for this character so much. It's a really interesting season for him. What do you think?
I think he's been really good, and I think the writing has been good, and I think what it is it's just kind of like the season of when it rains, it pours, and I think they must have realized that, it wasn't going to be one thing that was going to cause Gibbs to break, because Gibbs has been through stuff before.
Absolutely.
So instead it was just like, how many different things can we throw at Gibbs before he finally breaks? And he really, he set them all out on the table while at that bar, okay, you got everything that happened with She.
Yep.
Him ultimately getting rid of that rule.
Yep.
He had everything that happened with this former fiance, learning the truth there.
Yep.
Almost dying.
Yep.
Having to tell the team that he killed somebody a long time ago.
Yep.
All of this sort of stuff. It makes sense that now would be the time that he would just flip out in the middle of a case and need his version of help.
Absolutely, and it was good to actually see that he reached for that help, because he could have not. He was in such a bad headspace. He easily could have decided, I'm just going to the cops and, hey guys, take me in. And it was clearly a very hard decision for him, but he did the right thing and he reached out.
Yeah, and he reached out, and, we've seen Dr. Confalone here and there. She doesn't appear, all the time on this show, but it's clear, that she is one of the people who Gibbs is actually willing to have these sort of conversations with. What do you think about Gibbs' choice of venue for this conversation? Why go here, Gibbs?
Maybe it was down the street from the cop shop.
I don't know. He could have gone to the diner. He likes the diner.
He does like the diner. Maybe he didn't want to taint the diner. That's one of his special places.
Is it possible that the diner is still closed after everything that happened there earlier this season? It is
also possible that is a thing.
Yeah, that may have been the case. So he gets there, and there's a lot of moral questions that he's wondering while he's there.
Yeah.
Number one, should he go and turn himself into the cops?
Yeah, I mean, he was really struggling with that. We saw in the past episode that he took down a vigilante and he's now facing his own choices that he made, something that was a secret to just him, and now we know a couple other people, but not a lot of people, something that he has kept to himself for a very long time. And one of his rules, and now that rule, it's not broken, but it definitely changed in this situation. Now everybody knows people he respects, people who are his coworkers, people he didn't want to know. It's a very different ball game for him now.
I think it's the good doctor said it best. I think it's like the emotional floodgates have been opened, and I think Gibbs is now realizing that he is not like a crime-solving robot machine anymore, and that he's actually, a human being who has weaknesses and strengths, and I think he's struggling to kind of figure out, like, who am I now? Like, this is a real, identity crisis.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the things he was talking to her about that I found the most interesting, that all sort of connects with this, was the idea that he broke one of his rules, he burned it up in a fire, and now rule number 4 is also unraveling. People are knowing about the secrets. It's all turned into this big crap show. Yeah. And it is forcing him to look at himself. It is taking away his stability, because his rules are a big part of his stability. And now, 10 is gone, 4's unraveling. It's all just falling apart. That's why when that conversation came up about retirement and is he going to retire, and him saying that NCIS is stability for him. His rules are also stability, but they're all kind of falling apart now. NCIS, I feel, is becoming even more stability for him. And I've heard the comments online and people talking about it that he's of age for retirement, and they're not wrong. It is true. This is around where he would be considering retiring. We all know that NCIS is coming back next season. We all know Mark Harmon's coming back next season. Mark has said in the past that he will, as long as the writing stays good, and it is excellent this season. And if it keeps this good, I mean, the show can go on forever. So, I mean, not forever, but a lot longer. And there's already, this is a franchise. There's lots more NCISs out there with NOLA and LA, and this is a show that's still strong. So is he really considering retirement? No. Am I glad that they finally talked about it openly on the show? Yes. This is something that I really feel needed to be addressed. People have been questioning it. It was time. How does Gibbs feel about retirement? He's thought about it. It's a no. Great. Let's all move on from that now. It's time to just move into the next chapter. We know he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. The conversation has happened. I think, what I think Gibbs is going to retire? The NCIS series finale, whenever that is.
It's basically going to be what the doctor said. How do you see going out? You're just going to, jump on the grenade and you're going to go out in a blaze of glory? I think he hasn't really thought that far ahead. How is it going to end for him? He's not really ready to face how it's going to end. All he knows is he needs his stability. His stability is work. Work keeps him on track. He can't be left to his own devices to just build a boat 24 hours a day, and he needs the structure. So has he thought that far ahead? I don't think he has.
No, I think Gibbs as a guy, I think his life works because he compartmentalizes, and I think as long as he continues to do that, he's fine with it just kind of being in this sort of equilibrium where he can do what he does. He's still good at his job. He can go home. And I think it would take something like somebody telling Gibbs, like Vance or higher up, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people identify with their work and it makes them have a sense of purpose and that sort of feel. I'm one of those people, when I look into my future, I don't ever really see myself being retired. I love working and, I love what I do right now, and hopefully I'll be doing this a long time, but I really enjoy working no matter what jobs I've done in my life. I've been a funeral director. I've worked in finance, like everything that I've done, it just gives me a sense of purpose, and and stability and freedom to, you're working, you're making money, you're having a life outside of it. And it feels a bit for Gibbs that it also gives him that sense of stability and purpose and structure. And, he may not be feeling that way either, that he's going to work until the end of time. And I'm there with you, Gibbs. I am going to work until the end of time. You need to drag me away from this.
All right. So this has been a very honest NCIS video.
That's right. We're here for the honesty.
I'm here for the honesty. I may also
That's why I said we. We're here for the honesty.
I may also be here when I'm old to just lie on a beach for a week and do nothing. But that's just
and
me.
I'll be beside him doing this.
Yeah, you'll be still there typing. But there's a lot of good stuff that came out here with Gibbs. I mean, I think kind of the consequence of this though is that because all this stuff was so good, it was hard for me, really honestly, to pay attention to the case at times because I was so, into whatever was going on there.
Me too. By then it was and this brooch is worth $3 million. Yeah. I'm like, brooch? What brooch? I don't even know what is going on in the rest of the case. It really was. I'm sure it was a great case, but this was so good. It was so good.
I think that is the thing, and sometimes this happens with these sort of crime shows where you have a storyline that's just so meaty, and it's no fault to the other storyline, it's just you get so into that one. I mean, I did enjoy, the scene at the end at the airport where, once again, all these poor people in Washington, D.C. are going to get their flight delayed, something they have experienced a million times, I'm sure. But, and I like the whole confrontation. I kind of even like the fact that this woman for a second, tries to convince Torres to go away with her. And
yeah, I know we just kind of met the other day, but
how's $1.5 million sound for you?
With me? Yeah. Okay, it was a weak attempt, but when you're caught at the airport and you're caught with this, you're going to jail. Yeah. What else are you gonna do?
Little did she know that Torres is apparently secretly loaded, as we have learned a little bit earlier this season from all that money he didn't use when he was undercover. So maybe if he had went to McGee, no, I'm joking, but the case was fine for what it was. But there's a subject that is dangling up in the air. It is almost shaped like a ship, and it is slowly sailing back and forth.
This is me rowing on the ship. I am on the ship.
Even before we even did this video, that's how Jess told me she was ready to do this video, is just doing the sailing motion, because we have waited long enough. It is time for This Week in Gibbs and Sloane, as presented by Jessica. Jessica, are you ready to take it away?
Slibbs! Yes, I was very excited by this. She didn't say straight out that it's Gibbs, that she has feelings for him, but it is. And I am aware of, the rule that there's no having a relationship with your coworkers, but we've seen Rule 10 burnt up. We've seen Rule 4 has unraveled. Yes, we still need to wait for this rule to also go away, but for right now, it's just, we only know the one side of it. I feel that we've seen signs from the other side of it too. I feel like it's mutual, but at least we're sort of at this spot now where she has expressed that she has feelings for somebody Gibbs.
What is being destroyed more this past week? Gibbs's rules or King's Landing? I feel like it might be close.
It's close.
But, Gibbs...
Both destroyed by fire.
Yeah, really, they really are being this at that point. But, no, so Gibbs's rules... Who knows? Maybe this ends up going the way of the dodo.
And what do you think is going to happen with the Slibbs? You feel like they're building? I kind of feel like they're building. They're building.
Okay. Slow your roll a little bit here. I'm not trying to poke a hole in your ship.
Yes, you are. Fight me.
I'm not going to fight you. Okay, so the finale, I think here's what we're going to have. I mean, I don't think this is going to be forgotten. I don't think we're just going to suddenly pretend like this conversation didn't happen. I mean, I say this knowing full well that I'm starting to be turning into slow boil mode over the fact that Ziva's been forgotten for weeks now. But anyhow.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I think this may be addressed in some shape or form in the finale. I'm still holding out hope that Ziva will too, by the way. But anyway, I think this will be...
I don't think necessarily that Slibbs is going to be addressed in the finale, and I don't need it to. I've said many times on this channel, I've said in my NCIS reviews, I've said online, I am here for the slow burn. And with this show, you need to be here for the slow burn. Like, it is not a show that wraps things up quickly. Some things take a whole season, some things take seasons. Like, you need to be here for the slow ride, and I love a slow ride. So do I think I'm gonna see more Slibbs stuff in the finale? No, I actually don't. I feel like we're gonna get, for now, we're gonna get this really great story. We're gonna get a story about his daughter and more about Gibbs, because things are really coming to a head for him. Do I still feel like we're gonna still have something with Ziva? Yes, I feel like this needs to happen. I do. I don't feel like they brought it up in that episode and brought it up in many more episodes. I know we haven't heard it in a couple weeks. I feel like there'll be some little nugget of gold at the end of this episode.
I feel like probably. I feel like with Slibbs, I don't necessarily think, Sloane's going to go to him and be like, hey, guess what? I have feelings for you.
No, I don't see that happening.
I think there'll be a conversation where maybe they'll just open up to each other a little bit. And I think that will be kind of representative of it. I mean, it's nice to know that some of the feelings are kind of there. I don't know
It's nice to have confirmation.
It's nice to have confirmation. It's nice to have just kind of a direction, and I think that's what NCIS is kind of setting up now. We have a direction for the finale. They set that up clearly at the end of tonight's episode. Pretty darn big cliffhanger for them. They also have a direction when it comes to, we're bringing back this Ziva storyline somehow, some way, sometime, who knows when.
Yeah.
And we have a direction when it comes to Gibbs and Sloane. It's all out there.
Yeah, and it feels like this is a good time moving into the next season, more so that this is a good time for this Slibbs thing to kind of start to pop off, because he has burnt one rule, this other rule's unraveling, his rules are all unraveling. And so if there was ever going to be a time for him to start having something going on at work, this is the time.
And with that in mind, is there anything else you want to touch on? That this is the time to bring it up before we wrap this video up.
This was a really great episode. That's really what I want to say about it. This was a really good episode for Mark Harmon. Yeah. Really, really, really good.
It was a really good episode, and I think
really well written, really well put together. Like, bravo on everybody.
And I feel like it's good and it's worthwhile because we've gotten time to have good episodes with a lot of other characters as well. So it doesn't feel like Mark Harmon's just dominating the whole season. Because if it was all Gibbs all the time, maybe I'd be a little concerned. But my voice is dying, so take away the end of the video.
Okay, so for all of you out there, we're going to have a couple things down below for you. We're going to link to our preview for the finale, so you're going to be able to see that below. Are you all right? All right. So thank you, everybody, for watching, and be sure to subscribe, and it's down below, and we'll see you here next time.